With that being said, guys, great morning. Welcome to our leadership call. Our leadership call is a special call because you guys get a chance to hear from our leadership, where they get a chance to pick a topic and train on that specific topic. And then obviously we open up this call for any questions, any concerns that you may have. The company that trains together, that feeds each other's the information faster, is going to be able to move faster as a whole. So that's exactly why we hold this call. So without further ado, I would like to pass the call over to Cedar Moore, so that she can conduct this call. Let's get it, gang.
Great morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a restful night. I know I did. Well, this is our day, like Quincy said, it's our training call, Wednesday mornings, where we hear from some of our leaders who drops knowledge. So I want to give the ball over to talent acquisition, who is Miss Charlene. Like I said before, she's one of the faces you will see first, and she's one of the faces you may see last. So Miss Charlene.
Great morning, everyone. I hope everyone's alive and alert so we can learn something this morning.
Yes.
Yeah, what's my favorite words? Can we please turn some cameras on? Please, let me know that you're listening, that you want to learn. It makes me feel much better if I can see who I'm speaking to. As Ms. Cedar just recognized, and thank you, Ms. Cedar, I am talent acquisition. I like to say I rolled the carpet out for you here, and I don't like to think of ever rolling the carpet up on anybody, but I definitely want to make sure that I can see all of you in the future from one day to the next, and that you're on this call each week to learn something new with us, because I learn as well on these calls. The topic that I want to speak about this morning is why failure is a key ingredient to success. I know we look at failure and we think, oh no. No, it is a negative word, but it can be a positive thing, even if we look at it that way. No one wants to fail at any time, but many of us do what we can to avoid that risk that all happening. Let's think about it from a different perspective. Let's think about it as another step in life that takes us toward what next. Everything we do is going to work out exactly as we intend for it. And we all know that. We know that there are ups and downs in anything that you're working to achieve at. But you must be the kind of person who's prepared to take some risk, who's prepared to put up the fight, who's prepared to go the final stage, to walk it all the way through. And that means you are far more likely to succeed if you can do that, and you will reach your potential goals. It's not failure that we're scared of, it's the fear of failure that we're so scared of. You need to change your perspective and recognize it can be the key to achieving that success. It's easier for us to learn from failure than it is from success, because it gives you the chance to analyze what's not working for you, something that you can do something different with. Even in some factors, it can seem to be out of control. But think of it as that you can do anything to ease the process, the emotional feelings and all that can come with failure. Because anytime that you're trying to do something and it doesn't work out right, it pulls a little bit. It's like, oh man, what did I do wrong? And those are good questions to ask yourself. You should ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? What can I do better the next time? You want to ask yourself these questions. You got to evaluate yourself before you can evaluate the situation. So evaluate yourself to see what it is that you should do to achieve your goals. Also, by failing and then using what you learn from the experience, you have the potential to become more relentless and more persistent. And we all want to stay persistent in this course of work, because there's something that we must do. Because if we give up at the first no, and then we go to the next door and we still got that give up attitude, then you've already defeated yourself. You've already defeated your purpose for even knocking on that door. If you can't have the confidence, if you can't face the fear, then don't knock on that door, because you're only going to put fear into the next person. And once you put fear in them and they see your fear, what's going to happen? Nothing. You're going to end up going and knocking on the next door, still taking that feeling with you. And you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you handle fear and move on. And the only thing is that you're scared of the fear itself. You're scared of the failure, but it's okay to be fearful. Sometimes we say it's something that's worthwhile. Is it worthwhile to put yourself through that kind of mentality? Is it worthwhile to want to keep going when you feel like wanting to give up? Giving up is never an option for me. I don't care how much I have to deal with, how much I got to do to figure out what I need. I don't give up. I keep looking. I keep searching. I keep educating myself to find out what it is that I need to know how to do, what it is that I can do to prepare myself better if I'm in that situation again. You always tackle fear with work. If you tackle fear with work, then you will get things accomplished. And we always want to do that. And perseverance, I say, is also important. And you should never become the type of person who gives up something because something is harder than you expected it to be, or it's taking longer for you to do than you thought it would do. Sometimes we might start a challenge and we might say, oh, it shouldn't take me but a couple of hours to do this. And then once you get involved in it, it might take you the rest of the afternoon to get it done. But do you leave it there? No, you finish what you're doing, continue on and fight the fight of the battle. And it is an important part of our life. Even though we look at its negativity, don't forget, it is an important part of our life. And last but not least, I want to tell you how to use failure to your advantage. You know, beginning with the first F that you received in school, when you got that first F, oh, it put fear in you. It put fear in you that what mommy and daddy gonna say when you get home, what the teacher told you when you got that grade, it puts fear in you. But as you get older, and you still probably make Fs in different situations, but the Fs take on a different responsibility. They take on the responsibility as now you are an adult and you know how to assess these things. As a child, it just scared you. And oh, I can't do that no more. I better not get an F anymore. You were terrified. But now if you get that F, you're like, okay, why did I get that F? Ask yourself, why did I get that F? What can I do to control that F? And, you know, here's some things to keep in mind when you find yourself coming up short on your goals. An argument can be made that the only true way to fail is to never try at all. And that is a true way to fail. If you don't try, you have already failed. So don't be afraid to try. To be paralyzed by fear of failure, it will never attempt to do anything, but there's no way for you to start giving up. And if you fail on your first attempts as a goal, instead of dwelling on it as a failure, pat yourself on the back at the attempt and celebrate the fact that you had the courage to put yourself out there to accomplish the goal and to try again. And once the dust settles, you can take some time to evaluate why you fell short on not reaching your goal as you have wanted. So once you evaluate yourself and use your information, use it to better prepare for future. Say if you're going on a job interview and you went for a job interview and you didn't get that job interview and you just knew you had that job interview in the bag, but that job interview didn't pan out for you, do you say, okay, I'm not going to look for another job? Of course not, because you know you need money. You know you need to work. You know you have other goals that you set in place. It may be to take care of your mother. It may be to take care of your children. It may be just to help someone that you know need to help. But just always keep trying, because your failure can sometimes become your blessing and someone else's blessing as well. And I want everyone to take that with them, even though the word failure may sound negative. It's not a word that I normally like to use. I just like to say, we didn't reach our goal, but just because you didn't reach that goal, don't stop. Keep going, keep pushing. And that goal, you will eventually arrive at where you need to be. And thank you guys this morning. If you have any questions or any comments, please drop them in the chat for me. Thank you.
Let's throw some fire in the chat for Miss Charlene. Miss Charlene, that was amazing. Talent acquisition, Miss Charlene. Why failure is a key instrument to success. You know, she said no one wants to fail at anything, but failure is a key to success. You know, is a key to success to get there. So that's an amazing thing. Thank you so much for that, Miss Charlene. And we're going to now throw the ball over to Dudley. who is call center number 1. Dudley, take it away.
All right, good morning, guys. My name is Dudley, Francois. I'm the call center number 1. You know, I'm in charge of the AEP. And, today I want to talk about, the small card and optics, right? So what I mean by that is, sometimes you probably search certain address in the small card and they would tell you, hey, be among the first to know, right? I just want to tell you that, it's a possibility that it might still be available, right? So I'm about to show you what I mean by that. I'm about to share my screen. All right. 1 minute. One minute, guys. Let me log on this real quick. Okay. All right. Show my screen real quick. All right. So I had this address yesterday. All right, let me put it in real quick. So you go to Verizon.com, go to the search bar, right? And go to files. All right. And check availability. I don't know if I can edit it because all right. Okay. 108. Let's say you have an address, right? And you put it in it right now. 108 and then sorry. Mobile. So I put it here for all right. So to put in the address, press continue. Right? That's what I'm talking about. A lot of time when you search the address and it says be among the first to know, I still have a little faith that is available because a lot of time, I say when I would be in the field, it would, even when it says that, right, it's a higher chance that it's available. How would you check another way to make sure that it's available? Is when you would actually go to optics, right? That's when we actually log into our phone. 1 minute. You want me, guys? I'm not getting real quick. So right now, right, I'm about to actually search the account, right? I'm about to see, 1 minute. Since I couldn't finish the smart card because it was not available, right? I'm gonna put the same address in optics just to make sure that it is really not available, or if it's available for real. So give me a minute. Open account. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put new account, right? For this purpose, I say, okay, hey, you know what I'm saying, you're just trying to check with files, right? You could just put any letter for now, right? Or any phone number, 804, and then boom, you put next, right? So now what I'm about to do, I'm about to put the same address, right? So I'll put the zip code first. This is optics. All right, I'll put the zip code 23222. All right, 108. As you can see, it's gonna pop it right there. I had put 2B. And this side, is it? No, hold on. This side. CT. Oh, why is it CT? Oh, brother. 2B. Okay. Boom. So once I do this right here, I'm gonna put next. All right, next. All right, so this is what's gonna happen, right? Like I said, it's not gonna be it's not gonna be like 100%, you know what I'm saying, correct, that it's going to be available, right? But you want to make sure that once it says be among the first to know, like you go to optics, or I don't know if you know anybody, you know what I'm saying, this is a friendly culture. You can actually call anybody to ask questions. You could actually, hey, I'm getting this. Can you check Google for me? If you don't have a tablet, you could say, hey, if you have a tablet, if you know somebody that have a tablet, right? And then, you could say, hey, can you check that for me? I want to make sure that if it's really available or not, and then give them the address, let them know, hey, put that for you, check it for you. A lot of time you might say, okay, hey, now it's saying, okay, files is not available. It says service is not available. Files TV, so that means, okay, this person cannot get files. All right. So sometimes it will say, let's say if they could get it, they'll say, hey, files is available. All right. So yes, guys. So that's what I have for today. Yes, guys. So that's what I was doing today.
Great job, Dudley. Let's give it up for Dudley. Thank you so much for that. Well needed. Smart card and optics demonstration on how to use smart card and optics, how to check the availability in optics as well as smart card. I hope you guys are taking notes. Great job, Dudley. Let's throw some fire in the chat for Dudley.
I think I missed it. I just joined, guys. Can I hear it again? So if they can't get files,
No. So yeah, no, he finished the presentation. You can go back and it's recorded, so you can go back and see it.
Okay.
If you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat.
Okay.
So we're gonna throw the ball over to Laquita. Laquita is call center number 2. Let's get it.
Greetings. How y'all doing? Hopefully well. Today I will be speaking with you guys about calling into call center. So when you call into call center, what you want to do is state your name. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. So, Cedar, do you mind role playing with me really quick?
Not at all.
Okay, cool. So say for instance, if you were answering the phone for call center and I'm calling. Ring, 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 ring.
You didn't
I'm
pick up-
answering the phone, okay. I'm call center, okay. I'm not in call center, so hi, this is okay. So hi, this is Cetha Moore. I don't know how you guys, do call center. I'm not sure because I hardly call center, so I'm not sure how you do it.
Okay, so then you be the customer, you be the agent.
Okay.
So you're calling into call center and I'm picking up the phone. Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm well and yourself.
Good. I'm a recruit of Manisha.
Okay,
Yes, I would like to place an order
okay. And where are you calling from?
on Brooklyn.
Okay, is it sale for Brooklyn?
Yes, it's a sale for Brooklyn.
Okay, one moment.
Thank
So
you.
we will put you guys on hold. Now, ideally, it would be best for you guys when you call in to say, hey, this is so-and-so, whoever you are, and then say, I'm calling from PA, VA, New York, New Jersey, wherever you're calling from, and also say where that sale is placed from. So if it's a sale, you're in Brooklyn and you have a sale for PA, you want to notate to us that, hey, this is a sale for PA. Instead of saying, hey, I'm calling from New York, and we log in and now we got to take more time, because you guys seem to get a lot of, you guys get irritated with us with the time, but it's not our fault. Like, it's not like we're trying to take time on purpose. It's because we need to know the exact area you're calling for the place that sell. Also your name, and also that we can hear you clearly. Because sometimes we can't hear you due to the background noise and things like that. So we're asking questions multiple times because we can't really hear you. Or we might be in a noisy background as far as us being in a Walmart or, traveling in the process. So bear with us. Another thing is when you guys call in, we would like for your smart cards to be available already in your ACP accounts. So when you guys call in, instead of saying, hey, or we get to credit verification part, and you guys are like, oh, I don't have the ACP ready. That kind of throws us off. Then once we have another agent that calls in and we have to log out because you hung up and you got to create the smart card and call back, that kind of puts us to where now we logged out, now we have to send the information back to the customer. They have to fill out that link again. And we try to avoid that. So please make sure that everything is available when you call. Lastly, I would say finishing out, make sure the email is correct. Not only is the email correct, make sure that the customer is still on that link. That link is available because sometimes the customer may leave the link. It'll say sessions timeout as well. Please make sure that they stay on that link. When we say continue, they're able to continue. And if they're not able to continue, please verbalize that to us in a timely manner so that we can make sure that everything is moving accordingly. And that's all I have for you guys.
So let's give it up for Laquita. Her topic was how to call the call center and what to say and how to do it appropriately. So just have everything ready, let her know or let Dudley know or Matharly know exactly where you're calling from, what your name is, as well as who your recruit is. Make sure you have an email address ready. Smart card is done, ACP is done, and speak clearly and try to mute as much background noise as you can, maybe move away a little bit so they can hear properly. So yes, let's give it up for Laquita. Thank you so much for that, Laquita. Let's throw some fire in the chat for Laquita. So now we're gonna throw the ball over to Matharly. The ball is in your court, Matharly. Let's get it.
Great morning, everyone.
I'm sorry, call center number 3.
Yes. Great morning. My name is Matharly, call center extension 3. And this morning, my topic is almost similar to what Laquita and Dudley went over. So I just want to talk about the ACP. So whether you're calling into the call center or you got your own tablet and you're doing your own order, right? It's best that you take care of the ACP before you get to, doing your order, before you get to the credit check, or before you even call into the call center. Because like Laquita said, a lot of times, let's say you just check your address and then you start with your order right away. And then we do the credit check for you. So when you get there, your customer has a deposit, or we need to call into credit verification center so that they can verify your customer. or maybe they have a previous balance with Verizon. So now when that happens and you don't have your ACP, so we have to wait on you to go ahead and do that first, because we can't call into the call center if there is a deposit and we have to waive it, or there is a balance, they have to release the order, but the customer still has to pay for that balance whenever they can, right? So that if we have no ACP, we can't do that. And it might take a while for you to get your ACP application done with your customer. So if we're waiting on you, and then we have other agents calling in as well, and let's say, well, we have agents calling in from everywhere, PA, VA, Walmart, and all of these are different IDs, New Jersey. So when they call into the call center, now we have to kind of let you go for real, and we have to log out, log in to help another agent. And then once you're ready with your ACP, we gotta log in with the correct ID. Or if we're using your ID, we gotta use your ID again. And you don't know how long it takes us to finish with that other agent. So now your customer is gonna get frustrated. So to avoid all of that, and then they have to be reset, the link have to be resent again, they gotta do a whole new credit check. Because I know sometimes a lot of you guys who don't have a tablet yet, we think we can just pick up from where we left off, and then we get to continue. But it doesn't happen that way. We have to log in and then do the whole thing over. So it's really best to do the ACP, even if you have your own tablet. Because now you got your own tablet, but then when you get to the credit check, you have to call Credit Verification Center, and you don't have your ACP. So when you call into the call center, how are you going to waive that deposit for your customer? So I'm gonna just let you know how I do it. So soon as, just like Dolly showed you to do your smart card to check the address, soon as I'm done with that, I know that virus is available. The next step is I'll text the customer ACP benefit with no s.org. So that's when I'll text the customer that, and then I'll have them get started on that as fast as possible, because it's not really a long process with the ACP. You just need to make sure that the customer has their benefits and they do have that B or Q code. It's probably gonna take you like 5 minutes to complete that ACP. So just make sure you do that, and then you take your order slow. I'll let them know, hey, okay. So we have to make sure that the internet is free for you for real. So we have to get you qualified for the ACP, because we need that B or Q code. That's what's gonna guarantee that you get the service for free. So let's make sure that we get that done. And then I'll text them the link, and then as they're doing it, that's when I'll kind of start pulling up my smart card from Optics. But I'm not gonna go too fast, because I don't wanna be ahead of them, and now they're having trouble with the ACP. So as I'm doing that, I'll let them know I'm gonna get you an installation date as you're doing that. And then I'll do my own thing on the Optics, and then I'll let them stay occupied with the ACP. And sometimes the customer might need help. Sometimes they don't know how to put in their own information with the phone. Maybe it's too much for them to do. And they'll ask you, hey, can you help me with it? Can you put in my information for me? I'll help them out. I'll do it for them. But just make sure you get your ACP, right? When you gotta call into the call center, and when you're doing your own sale. Because I know a lot of times we wanna get our sale. We wanna get it as fast as we can. But you might actually make the process longer when you don't have the ACP, and you gotta pause your order to get the ACP. And when we're at the call center, it's too much, because we gotta log out, log back in, and restart over. So, and I also wanna go over one last thing, especially if you're new, and your goal obviously is to get a tablet or an iPad, right? So as you're calling into the call center, pay attention to the process. Don't just call into the call center and have us handle everything, and you're just in the background trying to get the next customer, or you're not really focused. I think it's best to hear how the process is going over the phone, to see the struggles that we face, or maybe the non-struggles that we face. So you get to know how it is like to have your own tablet and process the orders. And also you have to make sure you complete the Bridge the Gap University, because we also have step-by-step videos on how to do each and everything that has to do with you getting your sale or completing your order. We have the smart card, we have ACP, we have Optics, how to use the iPad, how to use the tablet, whatever it is that you need help with. It's also on Bridge the Gap University. So if you're not logged in, I'm the person, you can text me on Telegram or call me, let me know that it's not letting you log in, you need help, so that you can make sure you complete that, because you need to complete Bridge the Gap to fully understand what you're doing. And as you're calling into the call center, like I said before, pay attention to how the process is like, so you can actually get familiar with it. So once you get your tablet, it's not like a whole new world for you. You actually know the steps that we go through when it comes, to doing your sale. And yeah, we're all here for you. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, or you can call into call center, we'll help you out. That's it for me this morning.
Ms. Darley, call center number 3, that is much needed. ACP, have it ready before you call, have everything ready that you need, because it may be a CVC, as Ms. Darley said, and if it's a credit verification, the customer will not get that deposit waived. The customer will stand there waiting for you to finish ACP, and as well as call center is busy. So as I tell the agents as well, have smart card and ACP ready, so you are prepared, better prepared. You don't lose that customer, and you don't have the customer waiting, and you don't take up too much of call center's time, as well as the customer. So great job, Darley. Let's throw some fire in the chat for Darley. We're gonna now throw it over to Crystal, VA General Manager. Let's get Crystal.
Good morning. I gotta make sure my camera, my volume. Okay. Good morning. I am Crystal out of VA, and today I wanted to touch bases on, because a lot of people always ask me, how do I do it? How do I get sales? And that's what I want to talk about, how I get the sales and, and get referrals. So I saw this one day, notice one day, and I just wrote it down, and it really sums up on how I go out in the field. So it's like, if you ever fail, never give up, because fail means first attempt in learning. My first attempt in learning sales was, you can't give up, because that's how you keep learning. You're never going to get nowhere if you go to knock on somebody's door, you get a no. You knock on the next door, you get a no. You knock on the next door, get a no. You might get 50 no's before you get that yes. And I guarantee you, when you get that one yes, the ball is going to keep rolling, because now you're comfortable and you're confident in what you're saying to even get that sale. The next thing was end is not the end. In fact, end means effort never dies. So, you always got that effort to keep going and going and going. So I play that in my mind. So if I continue to go out there and have these thoughts in my mind, I know at 9 o'clock, I don't want to stop. So I know the next day I'm gonna keep going and going and going, because I don't want that end to be an end. I want it to keep going. If you ever get a no as an answer, remember, no means next opportunity. Just because they tell you no, you can always ask them, well, do you have any family or friends that can benefit from these services? And sometimes they will give you a referral. So another thing I do is I follow up on the client. I want them to feel like, they're part of the Bridge the Gap family. It's like they are cousins. You got the baby cousin, they are Bridge the Gap cousins. So, I go check on them, how you doing? How the paperwork and everything going? You didn't get a bill, did you? So I go back. And so when you go back sometimes and check on customers, it makes them feel like you care. So when you make them feel like you care, you'd be surprised when they say, wait a minute, my sister wanted. I told my sister about these services. Now my sister wanted. So now you call the sister and the sister can get it. But now the sister got a bridge game going on. Now you got 6 women over there that everybody received government benefits. Now they want it. Some of them can't get it because it's not in their area, but I guarantee you the referrals will keep going and going and going. And sometimes you got to go back and you got to treat people like family and not just a customer. And that's what I do. And that's what I wanted I wanted to touch bases on. I guarantee y'all, if y'all go out there today and go on some of your past customers just to check up on them, make sure that everything is working with their internet. Make sure that they didn't receive a bill. I guarantee you, you'll get 2 or 3 referrals today. And thank me later. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Let's give it up for Crystal. Great job, Crystal. Thank you so much for that. That's much needed on how to get sales and how to get referrals. Thank you so much. So treat the customer as if they are not just a customer, but family. That's amazing. Let's go to So let's throw some fire in the chat for Crystal. And we are now going to throw the ball over to, I believe she is on, to Leah. Is Talia on?
Yes, I'm on. Good morning.
Good morning.
This morning, just wanted to talk about 4 powerful steps for being prepared.
I'm sorry, Talia. I did not introduce you. I am so sorry. Talia, General Manager in PA. Let's get it.
Yes. So I just want to speak about 4 powerful steps of being prepared. The first one is being prepared enhances self-discipline. When we prepare ourselves for the predictable or unexpected events in our lives, we enhance our own self-discipline. Self-discipline is one of the foundations to living a happy life. The act of becoming prepared means that we discipline ourselves to make the time to prepare. We get the feeling of, I don't feel like doing this now. We put off procrastination. We dump the excuses and we become mindful with what we are doing in ourselves. And the second one is being prepared enhances our strategic thinking. The more complex the task, the higher the degree of strategic thinking is required. None of us is born master strategic thinkers. It's a skill that is born through practice and experience. Regardless of what you are preparing for, you can hone this skill. The second one is being prepared increases our flexibility. If you are self-disciplined and open to thinking strategically, there is possibility that your thought process will expand with fluidity and flexibility. Not everyone who is self-disciplined and thinks strategically is able to be flexible in his or her behavior, but with this skill that we develop. And last one is being prepared develops our resilience. Resilience is the ability to become strong, healthy, or successful again after something bad happens. As we develop all of our skills, we often spend time developing that resilience. Unless you have done the preparation, thought it through, evaluate all the known scenarios, you will always be shocked by the unforeseen or by failure. It is in preparation that we develop our mental resilience, and it is through failure that we develop a life of resilience. We all know that not every plan leads to success, and if it is through failure that we reach success, but often being unprepared leads to mistakes. That's all that I have for you guys this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Talia, General Manager in PA. We appreciate you. That's amazing. So the 4 powerful steps on being prepared. I hope you guys are taking notes because this is fire. As this is something you guys can go back on. So thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Let's throw some fire in the chat for Talia. Okay, so that leaves me, guys. So my topic is going to be how the importance of getting to know yourself. You know, a lot of us, we don't know ourselves. You know, we kind of don't know what makes us tick and what doesn't. So getting to know ourselves is a great skill. You know, it gives us the ability to change things about us we don't like. You know, this is the way we don't feel judged or, you know, attacked, right? So if we know who we are, then we will know what makes us tick. So, you know, to combat it, you know, is to turn it around, you know, we can't make a situation that, you know, does not have to blow out of proportion, you know, into a horrible, ugly situation. Instead, step back, look at ourselves and say, is it me? You know, and then it won't turn into something that's unnecessary, right? When someone points something out about us, that very thing we do not want to admit, we become offensive and defensive and get an attitude, right? So that happens sometimes. So we need to try to take and focus, you know, we try to take the focus off of ourselves and escalate the situation instead of de-escalating that situation. So saying I'm going to get to, you know me to see it, it's really the way to go, is to get to know you, you know, spend time with yourself. You know, it's a beautiful thing. I do it all the time. So here are the 7 ways to get to know yourself. So write the things down that people are saying. You know, whatever it is that they're saying that about you, you know, ask yourself, hey, is this true? Is this right? Maybe that is something that I need to change within myself. So it's good to ask you know, it's good to ask yourself that, you know, ask yourself questions. Try to ask people, you know, people that are going to be honest with you, not people that are going to sugarcoat it and tell you what you want to hear and tell you, oh yeah, you're the beautifulest person. Oh, you're great. Everything you do is great. No, that is not how it goes. We all have things that we have to change within ourselves. Nobody is perfect. None of us are. So every day we are learning and every day we are changing ourselves. So ask people. So try to pinpoint why you feel you are that way. What is it? What happened? Maybe something in your past, maybe something you haven't let go of, maybe you haven't forgave somebody. You know, it could be any one of those things. It's something that makes us feel that way. It's something within us that we didn't change. It's something within us, a hurt, a pain that we didn't let go of, that we need to let go of in order to, you know, let that change happen. That's number 3. 4, spend time with yourself, your thoughts. You know, what do you think during the day? What do we think? You know, positivity is always the way to go. You know, it's always going to be negative things, you know, especially what we go through outside. Like I say, you know, it's a lot of mental illness that's running rapid, you know, so there's a lot of people that are out there that may say something to you that it's not you, it's because they're going through something. So then now you got to step back and say, okay, why did I react that way? When I know that the person is dealing with mental illness, you can tell. So then we have to say, okay, I shouldn't have reacted that way. That wasn't my, you know, position to do that. I should have stepped back. So spending time with yourself and your thoughts, you know, what you read, what you hear, what you allow around you, your circle of friends, the circle of people that you're around. You know, my pastor always says the 5 people that you are around, that's who you are. So those 5 people, you know, make sure that you're picking powerful people that are successful, that are like-minded like you, you know, because trust me, crabs in a barrel will bring you down. Number 6, take heed to what a person or people are saying and ask a lot of questions. You know, ask a lot of questions, ask them why, then change, you know, and then, what is the last? When you hear something you do not like, it will discipline you, not just, you know, jump at the chance to defend yourself, but instead get to know yourself. And then last but not least, then change it. If it is something that is true and you believe it to be true, change it. So definitely do that. So the 7 ways to get to know yourself is to write down the things that people are saying. Ask people to tell you honestly, you know, what it is about you that you feel like, you know, you can change, right? Try to pinpoint why you feel that way and why we're getting defensive, right? Spend time with yourself and your thoughts. Take heed to what people are saying. And then if you hear something that doesn't sound right, this is going to discipline you to not jump back and instead to get to know yourself and then change it. That's all I have for you guys. If you have any questions, please drop it in the chat. Great job, team.
Excuse me.
Guys, this is the time of the call. We'll open up the call. Any questions, any concerns, any comments? Fire us up.
Yes, I got a question for Dolly. Dolly, the way how you did the smart card when it said it wasn't available, is that the similar way they do it when they ask for the 5G and they put that special screen up? And what's the chances of it being available if you do it like that? And will it waive the deposit if you do it like that?
I understand the rest, but what you mean, you're talking about if the 5G is, would it be like the same way for the 5G?
Yes, sir.
The 5G, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, since you have the tablet, we check sometime, but I'm not sure. But I think that when it says the 5G is not, it's not available, I'm not sure. But I just know for the Among one, it's just like it's a higher chance. And for that as well, a lot of time when you try to do the small card for the where it says be among us, right? And then you take that address and put it to the optics, and let's say the optics say if it's available, right? No, you're not gonna be able to waive the deposit if you continue to the optics if it's available, right? What I do, I keep trying again on, let's say, the small, a different phone or a different laptop. I know it be like that, you know what I'm saying? Until on Verizon.com, on Verizon.com it says, hey, you know, it's available. You know what I'm saying? But if it doesn't say that, right, you gotta keep trying though. If it's available on optics, you gotta make sure you keep trying on small card if you wanna with the deposit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep trying. Different phones or, you know, refresh your history until you saw that. So that's what you gotta do.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Great question, Gabe. Keep them coming.
You know, I have a question. I've been having a lot of problems. I've been so many sales I lost. Actually like been completing the sales, but then I get number one, I don't know what time the CVC is closed. I don't know, this is off subject, but
You said what time?
yeah, because listen, I got a book. I have like 6 people. Mathari could tell you, man, it's like 6 people I call, and I signed them up, and then when I called the CVC, when you know how you do the credit verification,
Yes.
when it came to that part, they said the CVC, you know, I called center, I called you guys, and y'all told me it was closed. And but then the next day, and then people, you know, I'll tell them like, listen, I gotta do this thing tomorrow with you. I gotta finish this, complete this process with you tomorrow. And they say okay, and then they, you know, sometimes people they just don't, you know what I mean? They don't show up. Like
Okay,
I'll call them that next day,
Mhm.
but I guess they, you know, sometimes people think like, oh well, you said this whatever, and this part didn't happen, so.
So Monday to Friday is 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. You gotta make sure you write it down, you know. And Saturday is 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. the last time I checked. And Sunday it's closed.
Dudley,
Alright.
I wanna ask you this question too, because oh my goodness, this one customer, I done signed this guy up like 12 days ago. He got, a matter of fact, I'm sorry, he got installed like 12 days ago, right? And when I did his when I signed him up, of course, you know, they gave him his ACP code and everything like that, right? So
Yeah.
when he called Verizon to apply the code, they said that it wouldn't, I don't know, they wouldn't accept the code or whatever. And I don't know, it's just been like 12 days of aggravation. Like, because, you know, once you sign people up and you already tell them, you know, they're gonna get this thing for free once they apply this code, and you don't understand?
Yeah.
And they
So
harass it. This person been literally harassing me because now they're like, oh, well, you told me it was for free, and it's just like been a nightmare, like seriously.
So one thing you gotta do, I'm not sure if you're the one that created the check lifeline for him or he did, right? You could actually get into the account to see if the ACP is expired or not, right? You could actually call check lifeline or to see if it's expired. If it's expired, they can apply it to the Verizon. If it's
No.
not, he might actually have it with a free phone. We gotta make sure, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna tell you what happened. Listen.
Yeah.
So the thing wasn't expired, right? Because when he called, well, because I was like, you know, some people they don't have patience to deal with that. So I was like, you know what? I always tell them, I'm like, listen, once you get installed, call me, and I'll meet up with you, and I'll guide you to how to apply your ACP code, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened. I went over there. I sat with the person while he called Verizon to apply his code, right? That's when they said that, right? So he called like Lifeline. right?
Mhm.
So Lifeline was like, excuse me, Lifeline said, because what happened was that I think he had got something like all the way. I didn't really check the year, but I think it was like in July. I didn't really pinpoint like I didn't know bother to look at the year. It was just in July. I know it was sometime in July, right?
Mhm.
So he called Lifeline, and the lady was like, all right, basically like you had. I guess he did have a phone back in July, right?
Yes.
So she said, "This is what I'm gonna do." She said, "I'm gonna call. I'm gonna cancel out the applications, like whatever was in July." She said, "So that way you can have whatever. Go to Lifeline. You know, I'm gonna cancel the applications out. Go to Lifeline and reapply for Lifeline,
Yes.
right? So
Mhm.
that way he could add the thing for his internet."
Yes.
So that's what she did. She canceled it out. He did the application for Lifeline, right? So when he did the application for Lifeline, you know how like it all goes through that process. So,
Mhm.
but by the time he did that, it was already like later on, and you know what I mean, in the nighttime, because it's been a nightmare, Dudley, for 12 days. So the next day, I go back over there, right? I go back over there. And when he goes to apply the thing, I'm like, why the hell this thing ain't like looking right? And that's what I noticed that one, like once he did the application or whatever, even though it went through and everything, and they gave him the Q, whatever, the Q, you know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
It said expired. And I'm like, listen, this thing's getting on my nerves. He called Lifeline again, right?
Mhm.
I'm telling you, it's been literally like a ping pong back and forth. So finally yesterday, the last lady that he spoke to, she gave him like whatever. They was just like a big mess with them having him because they kept on changing his username and his password. Like one agent will give him a username and password. He'll try to put that in. It will say your a record show that you still have an application. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Then he'll call back. Another agent will give her another. Oh my goodness, it's like literally been a nightmare. So then yesterday, the last person that he spoke to, they gave him there was finally an application for Lifeline. All right, just hear me out. A Lifeline application that said qualified. So I was like, all right, cool. Maybe that's cool. So now my question is, can I call today and use the ACP code that I the one that I originally for the application that I originally did because it was a B whatever.
Can you call in and give?
Like you think now that Verizon will be able to accept that since they canceled out the ones from July that he had or whatever?
Try, but I'm not sure. You gotta try to get into the account to see, you know what I'm saying, which application ID is, which one is expired or which one is not expired, which one you can actually use. You need to get into that account. But call today. Matter of fact, call him and actually get into his account. Make sure you choose, like, it might be about two. You make sure you swipe it to the left, right? And then it's gonna tell you which one is expired and which one is not expired. And you gotta make sure you pick the one that's, you know what I'm saying, active. And then you actually call Verizon and try to see, what you could do.
Yeah, because I got somebody I know that works for the phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't realize this. You are allowed to have like phone and internet. You understand? But it has to be within 90 days. You understand?
You could have phone and internet.
Yes,
Like
you can.
they're using the same ACP,
Huh?
using the
Yes.
same code. Or I
Yeah,
didn't know about that.
the same listen, all right, basically like two people under the same household, they're allowed to have two things. Whether it's two phones, you know what I mean? Whatever, they're allowed to have both two things within 90 days. Like say for example, say you get the tablet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But see, a lot of people like sometimes some people just want to get a phone, right? But they don't have that money to get a tablet, right? So they'll go back another time and try to get a tablet, try to buy a tablet. They can't do it like that because it's like a bundle thing. You understand?
Yes.
but you can't get it within 90 days. So if they get a phone today and then 3 months later they want to come back and get a tablet, they can still get it.
So let me jump in real quick, right? Because there's a few questions here and there's a few things that I just want to go over because we just went over a few different things. And first and foremost, right? Obviously, whether or not they can get a phone is not our thing, right? We're signing them
No,
up.
I'm not saying that that's your that's your aspect. I'm just saying that. Never mind. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So, you know, that's not our thing. We want to focus on making sure that they get their internet and then their ACP applied, right? So let
Yes.
me get back to that. Now, as far as the ACP, what Dudley is saying is log back in. Did you create this or did the client create their transaction ID? Did they create the account or did you?
The one for the ACP?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that was me. That's what when I signed them up.
Okay, well, good. Obviously, first and foremost, right? That's exactly why we take that extra step. We take that extra step to make sure that everything goes well. So when you created the account, you should be able to log back into the account on the customer's behalf. Now, by the way, obviously, right, we do not want to do this, right? We definitely go above and beyond for our clients. Our cancellation rate is great, but just so you guys know, this is above and beyond. This is more than what Verizon asks us to do. But log in so that you can try to get some clarity around this customer's account. The more and more you provide the customer with homework to do, they're never going to do that homework. We already know. We hated homework in high school. We hate it now. So if you're able to log in on their behalf, actually see the code there. And if you need to, you take the extra step to even call in with the client on a three-way so that you can kind of monitor what's being said. Because see, what happens is there's a lot of back and forth only because, you know, the client is getting frustrated. They're not telling you everything. They don't know everything. You know, we just got to stop playing the middleman and become the man in the situation, right? For lack of a better way to actually say that.
Oh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, right? So what Dudley is saying is what you want to do is you want to get some control in the situation by just literally taking control of the situation, right? Log in, log in, make sure that you got that code, whichever code is active. Then you call up and say, hey, I would like to apply my code, my ACP benefits. Obviously, you give it to them, have the client on three-way, let them do the talking, but you actually hear it. This is going to help you in so many different areas and everybody on this call. Because you need to learn it. You need to know this process like the back of your hand. How important is it that your client get installed? It's vital. You know, you don't get paid until you actually get it installed. And then how important is it to actually for them to stay installed? It's vital because you know that they will come back and charge you back for the actual sale. So let's make sure that we don't get chargebacks by just taking control. Yes, it is aggravating, right? That's another point that I want to make. It is very much so aggravating. That's exactly why you try to put systems and processes in play. Each and every one of you guys got your own system and processes. I've seen some of you guys with a pen, paper, writing everything down for your client. And then of course you got another booklet just for yourself. So you guys have a booklet with everything down. If you guys actually do that, drop it inside the chat right now. Let me know. If you got your books right now, hold your book up and what you do, right? So that you can kind of share some of these best, right. I just want you guys to share some of these best business practices because again, this is your business to manage and run, right? And we know what these clients will do. They will literally drop the ball on themselves. They'll literally come back to you like, man, listen, they still charging me. Well, did you apply your ACP? Nah, I ain't get a chance to do it yet. Well, you remember I told you if you don't apply your ACP that it's not going, right? And see, it's very much so different from the phones. It's not integrated like that, right? So
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that that gets addressed. Another thing that I want to make sure that I address, you mentioned the CVC early on. The CVC is important. For those of you that may not know, CVC is important because CVC, it only comes up when you receive a deposit, meaning your client has a deposit, they're high or medium risk, or they owe money, right? They had us previously before, they literally owe money. They're going to get them over to the CVC. They want to see if they can collect those fees. Or they got a credit lock on their account, right? A lot of people put credit locks on their account. Why? Because they've had credit issues in the past. It's okay. We call into the CVC. We give them our SSOID. If you're calling into the call center, they do that process for you. Don't talk while these guys are talking. Obviously, it's not supposed to be multiple people on the line. But if you do this for yourself, you call in, you're good to go. Now, if you got a tablet, it actually comes up with the date, time, and hours of operation for the CVC. So that's how you monitor that. And then if not, Dudley just just gave you the hours for the CVC. So it was a lot packed into, you know, the question, and I just want to make sure I give some definitive answers. So any questions around anything that I just said?
Yeah, this is what I was trying to tell you. I'm sorry, Quincy. This is what I was trying to tell you. Like with what I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's been like a nightmare with this one client. You understand? And these people don't play, right? When these and I explained to them that straight up. Listen, because I'm very raw dog with my customers, and I tell them straight up. You know what I mean? That's how I be getting the customers. And I tell them, listen, if you don't apply this code, they gonna bill you, and I don't want you to come harassing me, right? For real, I said, because listen, I said, yes, I work and this is my job. I said, but my reputation means more to me than a paycheck. You understand? And that's what I tell people all day, every day. And that's why I've been dealing with this situation, because it's like, no, if I tell you that this is free internet, once you apply this code, then I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna be diligent. And like I said, I'll literally be in 12 days, right? And I'm hoping that part, like after all that is said and done, because that's what I'm trying to say. Like, yes, I created the account. Well, you know, when I filled them up for the thing, right? But these people kept on changing up his username and password. I know the username and password I created. You understand? But after that, that's out of my hands. That's whatever they've been doing. You understand? So I cannot go and see right now if they had canceled out that ACP. You understand what I'm saying? The ACP application that I created.
Yes, I definitely understand. Did you understand what I just told you to do?
Yeah, you told me to go with him and whatever. And that's what I'm trying to say. So yesterday I was with this person. Right? And that's what I'm saying. He was on the phone with them.
Okay.
And they gave him that's what I'm saying. They had changed up his username and password. He logged in front of me. Right? And he only had the only one that was open was the Lifeline.
Okay. Well, it doesn't sound like you got it handled while you was with them, and you should have it handled. Meaning literally, if you need to, you call into the ACP, you call in the, you find the number for the ACP and you call in, right? And have them on three-way, because again, the client needs to be there and actually do this. And you're gonna learn as well, right? Because again, you know, if someone was able to change his password and his ID, okay, but the client should have known not to do that, right? That this is gonna stop or hinder him from getting the ACP benefits applied. So if they have changed it, you need to call into ACP, get in contact with them. I believe we went over this on calls previously before. I believe it was Joseph who shared with us an actual number. If you can, Joseph, share that.
Quincy, but I did that. I was with him. Listen, for these 12 days, that's what I'm saying. I've been with them on the three-way with not even on the three-way. I've been there with him calling ACP.
Yep. So let me ask you, right? What do you think the solution is?
I'm hoping that today now that I'm thinking that now I could be able to apply that application, the one that I originally did for him. So that's what I'm praying that works out like that.
Okay. Well, you try it, because we got to be solution orientated, right?
Yeah. And I do write everything down. That's why I'll be able to contact these people back and forth. And what I was saying about the CVC, like that's what I'm trying to say. Like, and Mathali could tell you, it's been like about like I have a book, literally like 6 people, right? And that's how it is. Like you sign them. I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know. You understand that they close now. I mean, I'm learning as I go along, so it's okay. There's all a learning experience. You understand? But yeah. So I will call. I will do these people. Sign these people up. And then I call him, but already be like, the CVC closed today. And I'm like, all right. So then I tell him, like, listen, tomorrow we got to just finish this last step. You understand? But then, huh?
Absolutely. I definitely understand. Marilyn,
Yeah,
Marilyn, we're going to move on. Okay. I want you to give your general manager a call if you can't, if you don't get this resolved today. All right. And then we'll do a separate call for you. Anybody got any other questions? No questions, gang?
Don't be shy.
I think one of the best things about this call is the fact that if you guys have any questions or anything to share, that we can get it out right here. So obviously, right, I'm going to take the silence as golden. I will see you guys next week. Obviously, we got our call on Friday. All right. I will speak to you guys soon. Let's kick ass and take names out there. Great week, gang.